Oh my goodness, did you see that? Another coffee machine just exploded the moment she walked past it. This is the third one this week.
That girl really is cursed. Every time she gets near any equipment, something goes wrong. Remember when the elevator got stuck for 6 hours?
I still can't believe they haven't fired her yet. She's like a walking disaster. The printer jammed so badly yesterday, they had to call a technician. At least she's entertaining. I mean, where else can you see a person accidentally destroy office furniture just by existing?
Entertaining? You kidding me? She cost the company thousands in repairs this month alone. The copy machine literally caught fire when she tried to make copies.
Speaking of fire, remember when she microwaved her lunch and somehow the entire kitchen had to be evacuated? How does someone mess up reheating soup? You have to admit though, it's impressive in a weird way. Like she has a superpower, just not a useful one.
A superpower for chaos. Maybe. I heard the security cameras malfunctioned whenever she's around. Even technology runs away from her.
Poor girl though. She looks so lonely sitting by herself every day. Nobody wants to eat lunch with her anymore. Can you blame them? Last week, someone sat next to her and spilled hot coffee all over their laptop. Completely ruined.
And what about that time the air conditioning went haywire during the board meeting? Of course, she was there taking notes.
The best part was when the projector started showing cat videos instead of the quarterly reports. Even the CEO looked confused. Wait, speaking of the CEO, have you noticed how he never seems bothered by all the chaos she causes?
That's because he's never around when the disasters happen. He's always locked up in his corner office being all mysterious and intimidating.
True, but I swear I've seen him watching her sometimes. Like really watching, not in a creepy way, just curious. You're imagining things. Why would someone like him pay attention to our office, Jinx?
Maybe he's trying to figure out how to fire her without getting sued. I mean, you can't exactly put causes supernatural disasters on termination papers.
Or maybe he's planning to transfer her to a different department, somewhere with less expensive equipment to break. Like where? The storage room? Even the filing cabinets would probably spontaneously combust.
That might not be a bad idea. She could work remotely, very far from here.
You guys are being mean. She's actually really sweet when you get to know her. I talked to her once in the bathroom. And what happened? Did the mirrors crack? Faucets explode? Nothing. Well, the automatic soap dispenser did go crazy and spray soap everywhere, but she was super apologetic about it.
Even in casual conversation, she's destructive. It's like she can't help herself.
I heard she applied for this job 3 times before they finally hired her. Apparently, every other company she interviewed with had mysterious technical difficulties. That's just coincidence though, right? I mean, people can't actually be cursed in real life.
Tell that to the poor IT department. They started charging hazard pay just to fix equipment near her desk.
Speaking of her desk, have you seen it lately? It's like a graveyard of broken office supplies. She keeps everything organized though. Even her pile of destroyed staplers is neatly arranged.
Organization doesn't matter when everything you touch turns to junk. She's like the reverse King Midas.
Instead of gold, everything becomes broken plastic and metal scraps. The janitorial staff has started avoiding her area entirely. But she always stays late to clean up her own messes. That's got to count for something, right?
But the company is probably losing money faster than she can clean. Insurance premiums have gone through the roof.
I wonder if she knows how much trouble she causes. She always looks so surprised when things break. Maybe that's part of the curse? She has to be genuinely innocent for it to work.
Maybe she's just really good at acting surprised, like a professional disaster artist.
Professional disaster artist. I love that. She should put that on her business cards right before they spontaneously burst into flames. You guys are terrible, but also kind of hilarious. Should we warn her about the new intern starting Monday?
What's the point? By Tuesday, the intern will either quit or join our Avoid the Jinx Girl support group.
We should make t-shirts. I survived working near the office, Jinx, and all I got was this broken laptop. Now you're just being ridiculous, but I would totally buy that shirt if the printer wasn't perpetually broken because of her.
Wait, look, he's coming this way. Quick, everybody grab your phones and back up your data.
Too late. My screen just flickered. She's still 20 feet away and already causing electronic interference. Maybe we should give her a chance? Like, actually try to be friends instead of just watching from a distance.
Are you volunteering? Because I'm not risking my new tablet. I just bought it yesterday.
Besides, what would we even talk about? Hey, love your work destroying office equipment. Any tips for accidentally breaking things? We could talk about normal stuff, like hobbies, movies, food. You know, regular human conversation.
Assuming the conversation doesn't get interrupted by random explosions or equipment failures.
Or assuming we survive long enough to finish a complete sentence. Remember what happened to the water cooler? Fine, you cowards. I'll go talk to her myself. Someone should be nice to her around here.
Your funeral. With your luck, the ceiling tiles will start falling.
Take a helmet and maybe some protective eyewear. Safety first when approaching natural disasters. You two are impossible. She's a person, not a hurricane. Watch me prove you wrong.
Famous last words. I'm keeping my distance and my phone on airplane mode, just in case.
Should we start a betting pool on what breaks first? I'm putting money on the fluorescent lights. I can hear you. And for the record, I think you're both being completely unreasonable about this whole situation.
Unreasonable? The emergency exits have been malfunctioning ever since she started working here. That's not unreasonable. That's survival instinct.
Plus, the office plants keep dying mysteriously. Even the fake ones look wilted when she walks by. Those plants were dying before she got here. The office has terrible lighting and no one remembers to water them.
Explain the fake ones then. How do you kill artificial vegetation just by existing?
It's like she has an anti-green thumb. Everything organic or electronic just gives up around her. I'm done arguing. I'm going to march over there and have a perfectly normal, disaster-free conversation.
At least let us clear the area first, and maybe call the fire department, just as a precaution.
Don't forget to update your emergency contacts, and maybe write a will. I'm kidding, mostly. I hate you both, but if something does go wrong, my laptop is in the top drawer of my desk.
That's the spirit. Positive thinking combined with practical disaster planning.
Look at her go. Our brave little soldier, walking into the danger zone with nothing but determination and probably terrible judgment.
Should we follow her? For moral support from a very safe distance?
Absolutely. I'll grab the fire extinguisher. You get the first aid kit. I can still hear you whispering. And I'm having a perfectly normal approach to her desk with 0 incidents so far.
Famous last words. Part 2. The day is still young.
Plus, she's only halfway there. The real test is when she actually starts talking to her. Here goes nothing. Wish me luck.
Try not to cause any international incidents.
And remember, if the building starts shaking, that's your cue to run.
Excuse me, what exactly is happening here? Why is everyone gathered around watching one person walk across the office? Startled me. We were just observing a social experiment in progress.
More like a scientific study in applied chaos theory, with potential casualties.
I see everyone is focused on something other than their work assignments. How interesting. Technically speaking, we're conducting important research on workplace dynamics and interpersonal relationships.
Exactly. Very important research, with possible applications in disaster preparedness and emergency response protocols.
And this research requires the entire office to neglect their responsibilities? Fascinating methodology.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear any of that. Nice to meet you. I'm from accounting. You actually came over here. That's really sweet of you. I'm so sorry if I'm causing any trouble again today.
What kind of trouble could one person possibly cause in a professional office environment? Should we tell him? I feel like we should probably warn him about the situation.
Warn him about what? The completely normal workplace dynamics and absolutely predictable office equipment behavior?
I'm waiting for an explanation that makes sense. So far, none of you have provided one.
There's really nothing to explain. I just wanted to introduce myself and see how your day is going. My day has been pretty typical, actually, although the coffee machine did malfunction again this morning. I think it might need maintenance.
Coffee machine maintenance is handled by facilities management. Has someone submitted a work order for the coffee machine? That's adorable. He thinks it's a maintenance issue.
Should we mention that it's the fourth coffee machine this month? Or would that be too much information?
Fourth coffee machine? Are you suggesting someone has damaged 3 others? Seems unlikely.
I'm sure it's just coincidence. Old equipment breaks down sometimes. Nothing unusual about that at all. I really hope I haven't caused any problems. I know I tend to have bad luck with electronics sometimes.
Bad luck with electronics? That's an unusual way to describe equipment failure. What exactly constitutes bad luck in this context? He's really going to make us spell it out, isn't he? This should be entertaining.
Maybe we should just let him discover the truth naturally, through direct observation and personal experience.
I prefer direct explanations over cryptic observations. Someone please clarify what's actually happening here.
Nothing dramatic, just normal office interactions between coworkers. Everything is completely normal and boring. I appreciate you being so kind about it. Most people avoid talking to me because they think I'm unlucky.
In what way? I don't believe in luck, good or bad. There are logical explanations for everything. Logical explanations. I love that. Let's see how long his logical worldview lasts.
I'm betting less than 5 minutes. Maybe 3 if the lights start flickering again.
Why would the lights flicker? Is there an electrical problem in this building that needs addressing?
No electrical problems. The lights work perfectly fine most of the time, when they're working properly. I'm really sorry if I caused any confusion. Sometimes weird things happen around me, but I'm sure it's just coincidence.
Coincidence is mathematically improbable when patterns repeat consistently. What kind of weird things are we discussing? Oh boy, here we go. Time for the full explanation. This is going to be good.
Should we get popcorn? This feels like it deserves popcorn. If the microwave wasn't currently broken.
The microwave is broken? How many appliances in this office are currently malfunctioning?
Just a few minor issues. Nothing that can't be fixed with proper maintenance, and maybe some good old-fashioned elbow grease. I think there might be about 7 or 8 things that stopped working recently, but I'm probably wrong about the exact number.
7 or 8 malfunctioning appliances. That suggests either poor building maintenance or systematic equipment failure. Both require immediate investigation. Systematic equipment failure. That's actually pretty accurate. Very systematic. Very predictable. Very expensive.
He's getting warmer. Maybe he'll figure out the pattern before anything else breaks today.
Pattern? You're implying there's a discernible pattern to these equipment failures? What kind of pattern?
Well, when you put it like that, it does sound a bit unusual, but I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation. I don't really understand it myself. Things just tend to break when I'm around, especially electronic things and machinery.
Things break when you're around? That's not possible unless you're deliberately damaging them, or there's an environmental factor involved. Environmental factor. That's one way to put it. She's definitely an environmental factor.
A walking, talking environmental hazard, with a really sweet personality, which makes it even more confusing.
Are you suggesting this person is somehow responsible for multiple equipment failures? That defies logical explanation.
Maybe we should change the subject. Like, what do you do for fun outside of work? Any hobbies? I like reading mostly, although I have to be careful with electronic books because they tend to glitch a lot.
Electronic books glitch? E-readers are remarkably stable devices. What exactly happens when you use them? Oh, this is perfect. He's about to get a first-hand demonstration of the phenomenon.
Should we back away? I feel like we should probably back away. For safety reasons.
Safety reasons? Why would reading electronic books pose any safety concerns? You're all being unnecessarily dramatic.
Maybe we could talk about paper books instead? Or magazines. Something nice and safe and non-electronic? I do prefer paper books, actually. They don't randomly shut down or display weird error messages.
Random shutdowns and error messages suggest user error or defective hardware. Have you considered updating your device software? User error. Classic. I love watching people try to logic their way through supernatural phenomena.
Next, he'll suggest she take a computer literacy class, or maybe call technical support.
Technical support is indeed the appropriate response to persistent device malfunctions. I fail to see the humor in that suggestion.
Right. Technical support. That's definitely the solution to this completely normal and fixable situation. I've tried technical support before. The repair technicians usually end up more confused than helpful.
Confused repair technicians indicate complex technical issues. Have you documented the specific error codes and failure patterns? Error codes. This keeps getting better. I wonder if there's an error code for spontaneous combustion.
Or mysterious electrical surges, or gravity temporarily reversing direction.
Gravity reversing direction? Now you're just being absurd. Physical laws don't change based on individual proximity.
Of course not. That would be silly. Nobody here believes in anything supernatural or unexplainable, right? I don't really understand what causes it. I just try to be extra careful around expensive equipment.
Extra careful implies awareness of specific risk factors. What precautions do you typically take? Precautions, like staying at least 10 feet away from anything valuable or electronic.
And avoiding the break room during peak lunch hours. And never, ever touching the copy machine.
These precautions seem excessive for standard office equipment. What exactly happened with the copy machine?
Nothing dramatic. Just a small incident involving some minor smoke and possibly a tiny electrical fire. It wasn't really a fire, more like sparks. And the smoke cleared up pretty quickly once they unplugged everything.
Sparks and smoke from office equipment represent serious safety hazards. Was there a proper incident report filed? Incident report. Yeah, I'm sure someone filled out paperwork right after they stopped screaming and called the fire department.
The fire department has our address memorized now. They're practically part of the office family.
The fire department has been called multiple times. This building clearly has significant safety issues that need immediate attention.
It's probably just a coincidence. Old buildings sometimes have quirky electrical systems. Nothing to worry about. I really don't want to cause any more problems. Maybe I should request a transfer to a different department.
Transfer requests require valid justification. Equipment malfunctions don't constitute grounds for employee relocation unless proven negligence is involved. Proven negligence. I'd love to see someone try to prove negligence in this case. Your Honor, she broke the laws of physics.
Exhibit A, a coffee machine that spontaneously achieved sentience before exploding.
You're both being ridiculous. Machines don't achieve sentience, and explosions have identifiable causes.
Exactly. Identifiable causes. Like old equipment and normal wear and tear and completely reasonable explanations. I should probably get back to my desk. I have reports to finish, and I don't want to keep everyone from their work.
That's sensible. Productivity is important. Although I'm now curious about these alleged equipment failures. Curious. Perfect. Curiosity is the first step toward understanding the true nature of our office dynamics.
Maybe he could do some independent research. You know, spend some time observing workplace patterns and phenomena.
Independent research requires access to relevant data and documentation. Are there maintenance records for the failed equipment?
Maintenance records. Sure. I'm sure someone keeps track of those things. Somewhere. In a file. Probably. I should really apologize for any inconvenience. I know this all sounds weird, and I don't blame anyone for being skeptical.
Skepticism is appropriate when presented with claims that contradict established facts. I prefer evidence-based conclusions. Evidence-based conclusions. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see his face when the evidence starts piling up.
Literally piling up, in the form of broken equipment and confused repair technicians.
If there's truly a pattern of equipment failures, it should be easily documented and analyzed. I'll investigate this matter personally.
Investigate. That sounds very thorough and professional. I'm sure you'll find some very interesting results. Please be careful if you do any investigating. I'd hate for you to get hurt or have your equipment damaged.
Personal injury from office equipment investigation seems unlikely. Standard safety protocols should be sufficient. Standard safety protocols. I admire his confidence. Completely misplaced, but admirable nonetheless.
Maybe he should start with something small, like a calculator or a paperclip. Work his way up to the dangerous stuff.
Dangerous stuff? What could possibly be dangerous about office equipment? You're all behaving as if there's some kind of supernatural threat.
Supernatural. That's crazy talk. Nobody here believes in anything supernatural or unexplainable or mystical, right? I don't know if it's supernatural. I just know that bad things happen, and I feel terrible about it.
Feeling terrible suggests guilt, which implies responsibility. Are you admitting to deliberately damaging equipment? Deliberately. Oh man, if only it were that simple. Deliberate damage would be so much easier to understand and fix.
Plus, insurance probably covers deliberate damage. Acts of supernatural jinx might be a different category.
There's no such thing as supernatural jinx. Insurance covers specific types of damage based on identifiable causes and circumstances.
Right. Identifiable causes, like normal, explainable reasons that make perfect sense to reasonable people. I promise I never damage anything on purpose. It just happens and I don't understand why.
If damage occurs without deliberate action, there must be an underlying cause. Mechanical failure, environmental factors, or user error. User error. I love that theory. Let's go with user error. It's almost accurate if you consider existing to be a user error.
Existing is definitely her primary mistake. Very poor life choice, really. Should have considered the consequences.
Existence cannot be classified as an error. You're both talking nonsense. I'm going to research this matter using rational methods.
Rational methods. Excellent approach. Very logical and scientific and sure to produce clear, understandable results. If you really want to research it, maybe start with something that's not too expensive to replace. Just in case.
Expensive to replace? Why would research require replacing anything? Observation shouldn't cause damage. Observation. That's adorable. He thinks he can just observe without participating in the chaos.
Maybe he has special powers, like immunity to supernatural equipment destruction. That would be handy.
I don't have special powers, and I don't believe in supernatural anything. I'm simply going to gather factual information.
Factual information gathering. Perfect plan. Very sensible and sure to go smoothly with absolutely no complications. I really hope nothing bad happens during your research. I'd feel awful if you got hurt because of me.
Nothing bad will happen because I'll take appropriate precautions and follow proper procedures. Unlike some people, I plan ahead. Famous last words, part 3. This is like watching a disaster movie where you want to yell at the screen.
Don't go into the basement. Except in this case, it's don't research the office jinx.
I'm going to ignore your dramatic commentary and focus on logical investigation, starting with equipment maintenance records.
Maintenance records. Great starting point. Very thorough and methodical. I'm sure those records are completely normal and boring. The maintenance people are really nice. They just look confused most of the time.
And a little scared.
Scared maintenance workers indicate poor training or dangerous working conditions. Both are management issues that need addressing. Management issues. Wait until he realizes management has given up trying to solve this problem rationally.
They've moved on to acceptance and damage mitigation. It's like the 5 stages of grief, but for office equipment.
Grief over office equipment? You're all being absurdly dramatic about routine maintenance issues.
Routine.
Exactly.
Very routine and predictable and completely normal. Just like everything else around here. I should let you get back to your investigation. Thank you for being so nice about this whole situation.
Investigation will proceed systematically and logically. I expect to have answers within a reasonable time frame. Reasonable time frame. I'm betting 48 hours before he starts questioning reality and basic physics.
I'm more optimistic. I think he'll crack within 24 hours. Maybe less if he tries to use the printer.
The printer? What's wrong with the printer? How many pieces of equipment are actually malfunctioning?
Oh, the printer is fine.
Mostly fine.
It works sometimes. When the stars align properly and nobody looks at it wrong. I haven't used the printer in 3 weeks. I do all my printing at the library now.
It's safer that way.
Safer? How is library printing safer than office printing? They're functionally identical processes. Functionally identical. In theory. In practice, one involves risk of spontaneous paper jams and mysterious ink explosions.
And the occasional printer achieving temporary consciousness before suffering a complete nervous breakdown.
Printers don't achieve consciousness. They're mechanical devices with limited programming and no capacity for self-awareness.
Of course not. That would be crazy. Completely impossible and not at all what actually happened last Tuesday. That printer incident was really embarrassing. I felt so bad for the IT person who had to deal with it.
What exactly happened last Tuesday? I want specific details, not vague references to impossible events. Specific details. Finally, I've been waiting for someone to ask for the full story. This is going to be epic.
Should we tell him about the ink cartridges achieving escape velocity? Or start with the paper tray spontaneously reorganizing itself?
Ink cartridges don't achieve escape velocity, and paper trays can't reorganize themselves. These claims violate basic physics.
Basic physics.
Right.
Which is why everything that happened was completely normal and explainable. Obviously. The printer just started making weird noises, and then all the lights in the building flickered. It probably wasn't related to anything I did.
Building-wide electrical fluctuations suggest power grid issues or electrical system problems, not individual user influence. Individual user influence. That's one way to phrase it. Very diplomatic. Very wrong, but diplomatic.
Maybe we should introduce him to the electrical engineer who came to investigate. The one who left crying.
Professional electricians don't leave crying unless faced with serious safety hazards or code violations.
Exactly. Serious safety hazards. Which is why we all take proper precautions and follow safety protocols. I try to stay away from electrical equipment as much as possible. It seems like the responsible thing to do.
Staying away from electrical equipment in a modern office is impossible. Nearly everything requires electrical power. Nearly everything, which explains why nearly everything breaks on a regular basis. Very logical conclusion.
He's starting to connect the dots. This is exciting. I love watching logical people discover illogical realities.
There's nothing illogical about anything. Equipment failure has rational explanations that can be identified and addressed.
Absolutely. Rational explanations for everything. Even the things that seem completely irrational and impossible. I really hope you find some good explanations. It would be nice to understand what's happening.
Understanding requires systematic observation and data collection. I'll start my investigation immediately. Immediately. Perfect timing. It's almost lunchtime, which means the microwave incident is about to repeat itself.
Should we warn him about the microwave? Or let him discover it naturally through direct experience?
Warn me about what? How dangerous could a microwave possibly be in professional office environment?
Not dangerous at all. Just quirky. Sometimes quirky. Very quirky. Occasionally explosive quirky. Maybe you could eat lunch out today, just as a precaution. I'm planning to skip lunch entirely.
Skipping lunch affects productivity and cognitive function. There's no rational reason to avoid the break room. No rational reason. I love that phrase. It's going to be his famous last words.
Should we follow him to the break room for moral support and emergency medical assistance?
Emergency medical assistance? For heating lunch? You're all being ridiculous about routine office activities.
Routine. Yes, very routine. Just like every other perfectly normal day at our completely ordinary workplace. Please be careful. And maybe stand back a little bit when you use any of the appliances.
Standing back from appliances suggests defective equipment or improper installation. Both require immediate maintenance attention. Immediate maintenance. Good luck getting anyone to work on equipment after they've experienced the phenomenon firsthand.
The last repair technician asked if we had considered hiring an exorcist. Very professional recommendation.
Exorcist recommendations from repair technicians indicate either incompetence or inappropriate humor. Neither is acceptable.
Inappropriate humor. That's probably it. Everyone around here has a very strange sense of humor about equipment problems. I'm going to work through lunch today. Maybe finish early and go home. It's probably better for everyone that way.
Working through lunch violates labor regulations and company policy. Employees are required to take proper break periods. Required, unless taking breaks poses a threat to public safety and office infrastructure.
Which brings us back to the original problem. It's like a philosophical circle of impossible workplace dynamics.
Workplace dynamics follow predictable patterns based on management structure and employee behavior. Nothing philosophical about it.
Predictable patterns.
Exactly.
Very predictable. Once you understand the unique variables involved in the equation. I think I'm one of those unique variables. The problematic kind that makes equations stop working properly.
Equations don't stop working. Mathematical principles are constant regardless of individual variables or circumstances. Mathematical principles. Wait until he tries to calculate the probability of everything breaking at exactly the wrong moment.
Or the statistical likelihood of spontaneous equipment failure correlating perfectly with proximity to one specific person.
Statistical correlation requires large sample sizes and controlled variables. Anecdotal evidence proves nothing.
Anecdotal evidence.
Right.
Like eyewitness testimony and documented incidents and repair bills and insurance claims. The insurance people seem very interested in all the documentation. They keep asking lots of questions.
Insurance investigations are standard procedure for expensive claims. Questions help determine liability and prevent fraud. Prevent fraud. That's hilarious. They're trying to figure out if supernatural Jinx qualifies as an act of God.
Or if there's a special category for impossible things that definitely happened but shouldn't exist.
Impossible things don't happen. If something occurred, there's a logical explanation that can be discovered and understood.
Logical explanations.
Perfect.
I'm sure your investigation will uncover lots of logical, reasonable, completely sensible explanations. I really hope so. I'd love to understand why this keeps happening. It would make everything so much easier.
Understanding begins with observation. I'm going to observe the break room equipment during typical usage periods. Typical usage periods. This is it, the moment of truth. Should we clear the building?
Maybe just the surrounding blocks. You know, as a reasonable safety precaution.
Safety precautions for lunch preparation are limited to basic food handling and appliance operation guidelines.
Basic guidelines. Absolutely. Like standing at least 50 feet away and having emergency services on speed dial. I'm going to go finish my work at my desk. Good luck with your research. I really hope everything goes well.
Thank you. Everything will proceed normally because this is a normal office with normal equipment operated by normal people. Normal people. Famous last words. Part 4. This is definitely going to be memorable.
I'm documenting everything for posterity. Future generations need to know what happened here today.
Nothing significant is going to happen. I'm simply going to heat up my lunch and return to work. End of investigation.
Heat up your lunch. Simple plan. Very straightforward. Absolutely nothing could go wrong with such a basic activity.
Should we take bets on what breaks first? The microwave? The lights? The structural integrity of the building?
I'm putting money on a complete power grid failure. Go big or go home.
Power grids don't fail because someone uses a microwave. You're all being absurdly paranoid about routine activities.
Routine activities. Exactly what they are. Until they're not, which happens sometimes. Occasionally.
Frequently.
I'm going to work on my reports now. Try not to think about any of this too much.
I'll think about facts and evidence. Unlike some people, I don't believe in supernatural explanations for mechanical problems. Supernatural explanations. He said it. The forbidden phrase. This is going to trigger something big.
Maybe we should evacuate the building now. You know, before the real chaos starts.
There will be no chaos because I'm a logical person conducting logical research in a logical phenomena.
Logical phenomena. That's definitely what we're dealing with. Very logical. Completely reasonable. Totally explainable. Please be careful. And if anything weird starts happening, just walk away. Don't try to fix anything.
Walking away from problems doesn't solve them. I prefer direct action and practical solutions. Direct action against supernatural Jinx. This is like watching someone challenge the universe to a logical argument.
The universe is going to win. The universe always wins, especially when it comes to office equipment.
The universe doesn't take sides in office equipment disputes. I'm going to heat my lunch now.
Good luck. I mean, have a nice lunch. Nothing unusual about that phrase at all.
Here he goes. The brave little researcher, walking into the danger zone with nothing but confidence and a sandwich.
Should we start timing this? I want to know exactly how long it takes for reality to shatter his worldview.
My worldview is based on facts and evidence. It's not going to shatter because of a microwave.
Maybe I should go home early today.
Just to be safe.
For everyone's sake.
Safe.
Good thinking. Very considerate. Very wise. Very much the right decision.
Too late. He's already in the break room. Point of no return achieved.
This is it. The moment when logical thinking meets supernatural reality. Historic occasion.
There's nothing supernatural about break room appliances. Watch me demonstrate proper microwave operation.
We're watching, very carefully, from a respectful distance, with emergency contacts ready.
Emergency contacts. Great idea. Should we call them now or wait for the inevitable disaster?
Wait for the disaster. More dramatic that way. Plus, we might get better response times.
There won't be any disaster because microwaves are simple, reliable appliances with straightforward operating procedures.
Please don't say things like that. It's like tempting fate, or challenging the universe. Challenging the universe. That's exactly what it sounds like. Very brave. Very foolish.
The universe loves a good challenge, especially from skeptics who think they understand everything.
I can hear the microwave starting up. This is it. The moment of truth. The scientific method versus supernatural chaos.
Scientific method always wins because it's based on observable reality rather than imagination and superstition.
Observable reality. That's about to become very observable, and very real, and very surprising.
Something's happening. The lights just flickered. It's starting.
And there's a weird humming noise. Not normal microwave humming. Angry microwave humming.
Unusual humming indicates mechanical issues that can be diagnosed and repaired by qualified technicians.
I'm leaving. Right now. Everyone should probably leave. This is going to be bad. Leaving. Excellent idea. Strategic retreat is sometimes the wisest course of action.
Too late for retreat. The microwave is making sparks. Actual sparks. And the humming is getting louder.
It's not just humming anymore. It's more like singing. Mechanical singing. Very disturbing mechanical singing.
Microwaves don't sing. There must be interference from external electromagnetic sources causing auditory illusions.
Auditory illusions. That's a creative explanation for supernatural mechanical consciousness.
The sparks are getting bigger and colorful. Microwaves don't usually produce rainbow sparks.
Rainbow sparks. That's new. Usually they're just boring orange and yellow sparks.
Colored sparks indicate specific electrical problems that can be identified through proper diagnostic procedures.
I'm going home. Everyone should go home. Right now. Before something terrible happens. Something terrible. Like what we're watching happen right now. In real time. Very terribly.
The microwave just opened its door by itself, and steam is pouring out. Lots of steam.
That's not normal steam. It's sparkly steam, with little lightning bolts in it.
Steam doesn't contain lightning bolts. You're experiencing stress-induced perceptual distortions.
Stress-induced. That's one explanation. Not accurate, but definitely creative.
The lightning bolts are spreading. They're crawling along the walls like little electric spiders.
Electric spiders.
That's terrifying.
And beautiful, but mostly terrifying.
Electrical discharge follows predictable paths based on conductivity and resistance. It doesn't crawl like spiders.
I'm calling the fire department, and maybe the police, and possibly an exorcist. Exorcist. Good thinking. Very practical solution for supernatural electrical problems.
The lights are strobing now, and the refrigerator is making music. Actual music.
It's playing classical music. Very sophisticated musical taste for a kitchen appliance.
Refrigerators don't play music. You're hearing auditory hallucinations caused by electromagnetic interference.
Electromagnetic interference. From what? A supernatural radio station broadcasting through kitchen appliances?
Now the coffee machine is dancing, actually moving around, dancing to the refrigerator music.
Dancing coffee machine. This is the best day ever. Terrifying, but amazing.
Coffee machines don't dance. Mass hallucination isn't possible. This isn't happening.
It's definitely happening. I'm running away now. Everyone should run away. Running away. Excellent advice. Strategic evacuation is the only rational response.
The vending machine is singing backup vocals. Perfect harmony with the refrigerator.
Backup vocals. Kitchen appliance choir. This is like a musical, but with more electrical hazards.
This can't be real. Equipment doesn't develop musical abilities. There has to be a logical explanation.
Logical explanation. Keep looking for it. I'm sure you'll find one eventually. Maybe.
The microwave is shooting fireworks now. Beautiful, colorful fireworks. Inside the break room.
Indoor fireworks. Safety violation, but absolutely spectacular.
Indoor fireworks are impossible without deliberate pyrotechnic devices. Someone is playing an elaborate prank.
It's not a prank. It's what happens when I'm around. I try to warn everyone. You did warn us. Very clearly. We should have listened more carefully.
The ceiling tiles are starting to fall, in perfect rhythm with the music. Choreographed ceiling collapse.
Choreographed destruction. Art meets disaster. Beauty in chaos.
Choreographed ceiling collapse violates basic structural engineering principles. This isn't possible.
Not possible, and yet happening, right in front of us. Very impossible possibility.
The sprinkler system just activated, but it's raining glitter instead of water.
Glitter rain. Magical glitter rain. From supernatural sprinkler systems.
Sprinkler systems contain water, not glitter. Someone modified the building's safety equipment.
Nobody modified anything. This just happens. It's what I've been trying to explain. Explanation accepted. Completely understood. No further questions needed.
Now, there are tiny tornadoes, glitter tornadoes, spinning around a dancing coffee machine.
Glitter tornadoes. Weather phenomena in the break room. Climate-controlled chaos.
Tornadoes don't form indoors. Air pressure and temperature conditions are insufficient for vortex development.
Insufficient conditions. Tell that to the glitter tornadoes currently defying atmospheric science.
The whole room is pulsing with light, like a giant disco ball, synchronized with the music.
Disco ball break room. Perfect for dancing. If we weren't all running for our lives.
Light doesn't pulse without external control systems. Someone installed special effects equipment.
I'm leaving the building. Everyone should leave. This is going to get much worse. Much worse than glitter tornadoes and dancing coffee machines. That's genuinely terrifying.
The floor is starting to shake. Earthquake. Supernatural earthquake in the break room.
Break room earthquake. Localized seismic activity. Very convenient timing.
Localized seismic activity is impossible. Earthquakes affect large geographic areas.
Large geographic areas. Starting with our break room. Expanding outward. Very scientifically.
Windows are rattling. Building-wide effects. This is spreading.
Spreading. Like a supernatural infection. Chaos contamination.
Vibrations can travel through building structures. This proves mechanical causes, not supernatural ones.
I'm evacuating.
Right now.
Before it gets worse. Everyone should evacuate. Evacuating. Excellent plan. Strategic withdrawal from supernatural combat zone.
Fire alarms are going off, but they're playing music too. Melodic emergency alerts.
Melodic emergency alerts. Safety announcements with artistic flair. Very considerate chaos.
Fire alarms have specific tonal patterns designed for maximum auditory recognition. They don't play music.
They do now. Musical fire alarms. Innovation in emergency management.
Emergency vehicles are arriving. Fire truck, police cars, ambulance.
Full emergency response. Professional chaos management. They've seen this before.
Emergency response teams are trained for actual emergencies, not supernatural phenomena.
They've been here before.
Multiple times.
They know what to expect. Professional experience with supernatural office disasters. Specialized training.
The emergency responders are setting up perimeters. Like this is routine.
Routine supernatural disaster response. Standard operating procedures for impossible events.
Standard operating procedures exist for identifiable hazards, not impossible supernatural events.
Impossible events requiring routine responses. Paradox management.
They're using special equipment, devices I've never seen before, supernatural emergency gear.
Specialized equipment for impossible situations. Technology meets magic.
Specialized equipment exists for unusual but explicable phenomena, not magic.
I'm talking to the fire chief. He remembers me. Says this is becoming a regular occurrence. Regular occurrence. Scheduled supernatural disasters. Very professional chaos management.
The chief is asking about evacuation procedures. They have protocols for this.
Protocols.
For supernatural office phenomena. Bureaucratic magic management.
Protocols exist for known hazards. Someone must have documented the actual causes.
Documented causes, including supernatural Jinx. Official recognition of impossible things.
They're interviewing witnesses, taking statements. Official supernatural incident report.
Official paperwork for impossible events. Government recognition of magic.
Official reports document observable events using standard terminology, not magic.
The investigator says this case is classified as unusual phenomena pending explanation. Pending explanation. Official category for supernatural mysteries. Very professional.
Unusual phenomena. That's the polite way to say supernatural disaster.
Professional supernatural disaster. With official documentation. And insurance implications.
Insurance covers documented losses regardless of unusual circumstances. Still not supernatural.
Not supernatural. Just unusual. Very unusual. Impossibly unusual.
The building is being evacuated. Everyone out. Official supernatural emergency.
Official evacuation. For unofficial reasons. Professional response to impossible problems.
Evacuation procedures are based on safety concerns, not supernatural beliefs.
Safety concerns. About supernatural phenomena. Official recognition. Official supernatural safety concerns. Government acknowledgement of impossible dangers.
We're all standing outside, watching the building pulse with colored lights.
Pulsing building. Architecture with rhythm. Structural musicality.
Buildings don't pulse with lights unless someone installed special equipment.
Special equipment.
Like supernatural generators. Magic power systems.
The pulsing is synchronized with music coming from inside, building-wide orchestra.
Architectural orchestra. Construction symphony. Engineering entertainment.
Synchronized building effects require sophisticated control systems and professional installation.
Nobody installed anything. This just happens when I'm around. I tried to warn everyone. Warning accepted. Supernatural hazard acknowledged. Professional skepticism officially defeated.
Emergency teams are consulting thick manuals. Supernatural emergency protocols.
Professional supernatural protocols. Official impossible response procedures.
Emergency manuals cover unusual situations that have occurred before. Documentation indicates previous incidents.
Previous incidents. Historical supernatural disasters. Pattern of impossible events.
The pattern is clear. Proximity to certain individuals causes equipment to achieve consciousness.
Equipment consciousness. Artificial intelligence through supernatural means.
Equipment consciousness is impossible. Artificial intelligence requires programming and sophisticated hardware.
I don't program anything. Things just start acting weird when I'm around. Acting weird. Technical term for supernatural behavior. Professional chaos description.
Professional chaos. Official supernatural terminology. Bureaucratic magic language.
The building is starting to calm down. Lights returning to normal. Crisis resolution.
Crisis resolution indicates the actual cause has been removed or contained.
Actual cause. Supernatural individual leaving the vicinity. Proximity-based magical effects.
She's walking away and everything is returning to normal. Direct correlation.
Direct correlation between individual proximity and supernatural phenomena. Scientific observation of magic.
Correlation doesn't prove causation. There must be another explanation.
There is another explanation.
I'm cursed.
Or jinxed. Or just really unlucky. Really unlucky. Supernatural unluckiness. Professional grade bad luck.
Professional grade supernatural disaster management by officially trained emergency responders
Who have specialized equipment for dealing with impossible situations.
Routinely.
Routine impossible situations can't exist. If something happens routinely, it's possible by definition.
Possible impossible things. Supernatural logic. Magic that makes sense.
Magic that requires professional emergency response with specialized training.
And insurance coverage. Financial recognition of supernatural disasters.
Insurance covers documented losses. Documentation doesn't make something supernatural.
The insurance investigator says my case is unique in company history. Unique supernatural case. Historical impossibility. Record-breaking magic.
Record-breaking supernatural disasters. Professional acknowledgement of impossible achievements.
Professional impossible achievements. With official documentation. And emergency response protocols.
Professional documentation of unusual events doesn't validate supernatural explanations.
Doesn't validate, but officially acknowledges. Professional supernatural recognition.
The fire chief is approaching. Official debriefing. Professional supernatural consultation. Ma'am, I need to ask you some questions about what happened inside the building.
I'm so sorry. I tried to warn everyone, but nobody believed me about the equipment problems.
We believe you. This is the 7th incident at this location involving similar phenomena. 7th incident? There have been 6 previous occurrences of this type of equipment malfunction. Equipment malfunction is one way to describe it, though our technical teams prefer the term anomalous behavior.
Anomalous behavior. Professional terminology for supernatural equipment consciousness.
We've had to develop specialized response protocols for situations involving unexplained technology interactions. Specialized protocols. Official supernatural disaster management procedures. The important thing is that everyone evacuated safely and no one was injured during the incident.
No injuries. Professional supernatural safety record. Competent impossible emergency management.
Professional emergency management follows established protocols for known hazards, not impossible phenomena. Sir, with respect, after 7 similar incidents, we've learned to adapt our procedures to address unusual circumstances.
I feel terrible about causing so much trouble. Maybe I should find a different job.
Ma'am, the choice is yours, but we've seen this type of situation before in other locations.
Other locations. Multiple supernatural disaster sites. Widespread impossible phenomena.
Our department maintains files on individuals who seem to have unusual effects on electronic equipment. Official files. Government supernatural documentation. Professional magic recognition. It's not uncommon. About once every few years we encounter someone who has these kinds of effects.
Not uncommon. Regular supernatural occurrences. Routine impossible people.
Regular occurrences of unusual phenomena suggest patterns that can be studied and explained scientifically. We work with researchers who specialize in unexplained electromagnetic interactions and related phenomena.
Researchers? There are people who study this kind of thing?
Several universities have ongoing research programs investigating unusual electromagnetic effects in sensitive individuals.
University research. Academic supernatural studies.
Scholarly impossible investigation.
The important thing is learning to manage the effects safely while research continues. Safe management of supernatural effects. Professional magic handling techniques. We can provide you with contact information for support groups and research programs if you're interested.
Support groups. For supernatural individuals. Professional impossible people management.
Research programs investigating electromagnetic effects are legitimate scientific endeavors, not supernatural studies. Call what you like, sir. Our job is public safety, and we've developed effective protocols.
Support groups sound helpful. I felt so alone dealing with this by myself.
You're not alone. There are others who experience similar effects, and researchers who want to understand why.
Others. Multiple supernatural individuals. Population of impossible people.
The building should be safe to reoccupy in about an hour once our technical team completes their assessment. Technical assessment of supernatural disaster aftermath. Professional magic cleanup. We'll provide the property management company with our incident report and safety recommendations.
Official incident report. Supernatural disaster documentation. Professional impossible paperwork.
Official incident reports document observable events without necessarily providing supernatural explanations. Our reports focus on safety protocols and damage assessment. Explanations are left to the researchers.
Thank you for being so professional about this. Most people think I'm making it up.
We've seen enough unusual situations to keep an open mind about unexplained phenomena.
Open mind about impossible things. Professional supernatural acceptance.
The important thing is that everyone is safe and we have procedures in place for future incidents. Future incidents. Planned supernatural disasters. Scheduled impossible events. Ma'am, I'd recommend considering the research programs. They might be able to help you understand what's happening.
Professional help. For supernatural individuals. Official impossible person support.
Professional help from legitimate researchers is always preferable to supernatural explanations.
I think I would like to contact those researchers. It would be nice to understand this better.
I'll have someone bring you the contact information before we leave the scene.
Before leaving, professional supernatural disaster conclusion. Official impossible incident resolution.
In the meantime, try not to worry too much about today. These things happen, and we're prepared for them. These things happen. Professional acknowledgement of routine supernatural disasters. Is there anything else you need from us today? Any other concerns or questions?
Professional supernatural customer service. Complete impossible incident support.
I have questions, many questions, about protocols and documentation and official responses to alleged supernatural events. I'll be happy to answer what I can, sir, though some information is limited to official investigations.
Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate how kind everyone has been.
Just doing our job, ma'am. Public safety includes protecting people from unusual circumstances.
Unusual circumstances. Professional supernatural safety mandate. Official impossible protection duty.
We'll be in touch if we need any follow-up information for our reports. Follow-up supernatural investigation. Professional impossible incident review. Have a good day, everyone. And sir, I hope this has been educational regarding our emergency protocols.
Educational supernatural experience. Professional impossible learning opportunity.
Educational, yes, though not in the way I expected when I began my investigation.
Maybe now you understand why I try to be careful around equipment.
I understand that there are phenomena I don't fully comprehend yet. That doesn't make them supernatural.
Not supernatural, just incomprehensible. Professional mystery acknowledgement.
Incomprehensible mysteries with official emergency response protocols.
Professional mystery management. Official impossible situation handling.
Professional emergency management follows established procedures regardless of the underlying causes.
The underlying causes are what I'd like to understand better. Maybe the researchers can help.
I'm sure they'll be very interested in your case. We'll send them our incident report as well.
Official research collaboration. Professional supernatural academic cooperation.
Between emergency responders and supernatural researchers. Official impossible studies.
Professional impossible academic emergency supernatural collaboration. With official documentation.
Academic research into unusual electromagnetic phenomena is legitimate scientific inquiry.
Scientific inquiry sounds much better than just saying I'm cursed or jinxed.
Science tends to provide better long-term solutions than superstition, in our experience.
Scientific supernatural solutions. Professional impossible research applications.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap up our operations here. Building should be clear for reoccupancy soon. Professional supernatural disaster conclusion. Official impossible incident resolution.
With follow-up research opportunities and support group resources. Complete supernatural services.
Complete professional emergency response to unusual but explainable electromagnetic phenomena.
Explainable or not, I'm grateful for everyone's help today, especially yours for trying to understand.
Understanding requires investigation and analysis. Today certainly provided plenty of both.
Plenty of impossible investigation, professional supernatural analysis opportunities.
With official documentation and research follow-up, complete impossible experience.
Complete impossible professional supernatural academic emergency research experience. With support groups.
Complete professional emergency response to unusual electromagnetic phenomena requiring further scientific study.
Further scientific study sounds perfect. Maybe I'll finally get some answers.
I'm confident the researchers will be very helpful. They've worked with similar cases before.
Similar impossible cases. Multiple supernatural research subjects. Professional magic studies.
Professional academic supernatural research with emergency response support.
Emergency response support for academic supernatural professional research subjects. Official impossible studies.
Professional research into electromagnetic phenomena with emergency response coordination for unusual manifestations.
That sounds much more hopeful than just living with random disasters for the rest of my life.
Random disasters become manageable with proper understanding and support systems.
Proper supernatural understanding. Professional impossible support systems.
Professional supernatural support for impossible individuals with academic research.
Academic supernatural research support for professional impossible individual management.
Academic research support for individuals experiencing unusual electromagnetic effects requiring professional management.
Professional management sounds wonderful. I've been managing this alone for too long.
You won't have to manage it alone anymore. There are people who understand and want to help.
People who understand impossible things. Professional supernatural helpers.
Professional helpers for supernatural individuals with academic support.
Academic supernatural professional helpers for impossible individual support.
Professional support from qualified researchers investigating electromagnetic phenomena in sensitive individuals.
Sensitive individuals. I like that better than Jinx girl or walking disaster.
Terminology matters. Professional language helps reduce stigma and increase understanding.
Professional supernatural language. Reduced impossible stigma.
Increased supernatural understanding through professional academic research.
Professional academic supernatural research for increased impossible understanding.
Professional academic research into unusual electromagnetic sensitivity in specific individuals.
Electromagnetic sensitivity. That makes it sound like a medical condition instead of a curse.
Medical research approaches tend to be more productive than supernatural explanations.
More productive supernatural medical research. Professional impossible healthcare.
Professional healthcare for supernatural conditions. Medical impossible treatment.
Medical supernatural treatment. Professional impossible healthcare research.
Medical research into electromagnetic sensitivity using scientific methodology and professional healthcare protocols.
Scientific methodology sounds much more hopeful than just accepting that I'm cursed forever.
Science provides hope for understanding and potentially managing difficult conditions.
Scientific supernatural hope. Professional impossible condition management.
Professional supernatural condition management with scientific hope.
Scientific supernatural professional hope For impossible condition management.
Scientific research providing hope for managing electromagnetic sensitivity through professional medical approaches.
Professional medical approaches. I never thought about it that way before.
New perspectives often provide new solutions. The researchers will offer several different approaches.
New supernatural perspectives. Different impossible solutions.
Different supernatural solutions. Professional impossible approaches.
Professional supernatural approaches. Different impossible solution perspectives.
Different scientific approaches to managing electromagnetic sensitivity through professional research and medical consultation.
I feel so much better knowing there are professional people who study this and want to help.
Professional help makes all the difference. You'll have good support moving forward.
Good supernatural support. Professional impossible assistance.
Professional supernatural assistance. Good impossible support.
Good supernatural professional impossible assistance support.
Good professional assistance for individuals with electromagnetic sensitivity through qualified research and medical support.
Thank you, everyone. This has been scary, but also kind of wonderful having people believe me.
Being believed and supported is important for everyone, regardless of their individual circumstances.
Important supernatural support. Professional impossible belief.
Professional supernatural belief. Important impossible support.
Important supernatural professional impossible belief support.
Important professional support for individuals experiencing unusual circumstances requiring scientific investigation.
Scientific investigation, instead of just thinking I'm crazy. That's a huge relief.
You're not crazy. You're experiencing something unusual that deserves proper investigation and support.
Proper supernatural investigation. Professional impossible support.
Professional supernatural support. Proper impossible investigation.
Proper supernatural professional impossible investigation support.
Proper scientific investigation of unusual phenomena with professional support for affected individuals.
Affected individuals. I like knowing there are others. I felt so alone.
You're definitely not alone. The support networks are quite active and helpful.
Active supernatural support networks. Helpful impossible communities.
Helpful supernatural communities. Active impossible support networks.
Active supernatural helpful impossible support community networks.
Active support networks for individuals experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity with helpful community resources.
Community resources. That sounds wonderful. I can't wait to contact these people.
They'll be excited to hear from you. New cases always generate interest in the research community.
Research community interest. In supernatural new cases.
Supernatural research community. Interested in impossible new cases.
Supernatural research community interest. In impossible new cases.
Research community interest in new cases of electromagnetic sensitivity for scientific study.
Scientific study. I never imagined I could be part of something scientific instead of just being cursed.
Science has a way of turning curses into conditions that can be understood and managed.
Scientific supernatural curse management. Professional impossible condition understanding.
Professional supernatural understanding. Scientific impossible curse management.
Scientific supernatural professional impossible curse condition understanding management.
Scientific understanding of unusual conditions through professional research and medical management approaches.
I'm really looking forward to talking to the researchers and maybe joining a support group.
Both will be valuable resources for you. I think you'll find them very helpful.
Valuable supernatural resources. Helpful impossible research support.
Helpful supernatural support. Valuable impossible research resources.
Valuable supernatural helpful impossible research support resources.
Valuable research resources and helpful support groups for individuals with electromagnetic sensitivity.
Electromagnetic sensitivity. I'm going to practice using that term instead of calling myself the Jinx girl.
Professional terminology helps with self-perception and how others understand your condition.
Professional supernatural self-perception. Understanding impossible conditions.
Understanding supernatural conditions. Professional impossible self-perception.
Professional supernatural understanding impossible conditions self-perception.
Professional terminology for electromagnetic conditions, improving self-perception and public understanding.
Public understanding would be amazing. Maybe someday people won't be afraid to be around me.
Education and understanding usually reduce fear and increase acceptance in communities.
Supernatural community acceptance. Educational impossible understanding.
Educational supernatural understanding. Community impossible acceptance.
Educational supernatural community impossible understanding acceptance.
Educational outreach about electromagnetic sensitivity, increasing community understanding and acceptance.
That gives me so much hope for the future. Thank you for everything today.
You're very welcome. Good luck with the research programs and support groups.
Good supernatural luck with impossible research programs.
Supernatural research programs. Good impossible luck.
Good supernatural impossible research program luck.
Good results from legitimate research programs investigating electromagnetic sensitivity.
Legitimate research. I love the sound of that. Scientific legitimacy for something that seemed so impossible.
Science has a way of making the impossible seem possible once it's properly understood.
Scientific supernatural possibility. Professional impossible understanding.
Professional supernatural understanding. Scientific impossible possibility.
Scientific supernatural professional impossible understanding possibility.
Scientific understanding making unusual electromagnetic phenomena comprehensible through professional research.
Comprehensible phenomena. Much better than incomprehensible Jinx. I feel so much better about everything now.
Understanding always helps with difficult situations. You'll do well with the right support.
Right supernatural support. For difficult, impossible situations.
Difficult supernatural situations. Right impossible support.
Right supernatural difficult, impossible situation support.
Right professional support for difficult situations involving electromagnetic sensitivity.
Professional support. I never thought I'd have access to professional help for this.
Professional help is available for many conditions that seem unusual or difficult to understand.
Available supernatural professional help. For unusual, impossible conditions.
Unusual supernatural conditions. Available impossible professional help.
Available supernatural, unusual, impossible professional condition help.
Available professional help for unusual conditions through legitimate research and medical programs.
Legitimate medical programs. Today started as a disaster and ended with hope for real help.
Sometimes disasters lead to discoveries and opportunities for positive change.
Supernatural disaster opportunities. Positive impossible change discoveries.
Positive supernatural change. Disaster impossible opportunities.
Positive supernatural disaster impossible change opportunity discoveries.
Positive opportunities for change through scientific discovery following unusual electromagnetic incidents.
Scientific discovery. I'm going to remember this day as the beginning of understanding instead of just another disaster.
That's an excellent way to frame today's events. New beginnings are always hopeful.
Hopeful supernatural new beginnings. Excellent impossible event framing.
Excellent supernatural framing. Hopeful impossible new beginnings.
Excellent supernatural hopeful impossible new beginning event framing.
Hopeful new beginnings through scientific approaches to understanding electromagnetic sensitivity.
Scientific approaches to electromagnetic sensitivity. I'm going to practice saying that until it feels normal.
Practice helps with accepting new ways of thinking about familiar problems.
New supernatural thinking about familiar, impossible problems.
Familiar supernatural problems. New impossible thinking approaches.
New supernatural familiar, impossible problem thinking approaches.
New scientific approaches to familiar problems involving electromagnetic sensitivity.
I can't thank you enough for helping me see this differently. Today changed everything.
I'm glad we could help provide a new perspective. That's part of our job too.
New supernatural perspective. Professional impossible job responsibilities.
Professional supernatural responsibilities. New impossible perspective jobs.
New supernatural professional impossible perspective job responsibilities.
New scientific perspectives as part of professional responsibilities for unusual electromagnetic cases.
Professional responsibilities for unusual cases. It makes me feel like I matter to someone.
Everyone matters, especially people dealing with difficult or unusual circumstances.
Everyone's supernatural matters, especially in possible difficult circumstances.
Difficult supernatural circumstances. Everyone impossible matters.
Everyone's supernatural difficult impossible circumstances matters.
Everyone dealing with unusual electromagnetic circumstances deserves professional support and understanding.
Professional support and understanding. This has been the best worst day of my life.
Sometimes the worst days lead to the best new opportunities and perspectives.
Best supernatural opportunities. Worst impossible day perspectives.
Worst supernatural days. Best impossible opportunities.
Best supernatural worst impossible day opportunity perspectives.
New opportunities arising from challenging days involving electromagnetic sensitivity incidents.
New opportunities. I'm excited to contact those researchers and maybe meet other people like me.
I think you'll find the research community very welcoming and the support groups extremely helpful.
Welcoming supernatural research community. Helpful impossible support groups.
Helpful supernatural support groups. Welcoming impossible research community.
Welcoming supernatural helpful impossible research support community groups.
Welcoming research community and helpful support groups for individuals with electromagnetic sensitivity.
For the first time in years, I'm looking forward to tomorrow instead of dreading what might break.
Looking forward is always better than dreading. Tomorrow will bring new possibilities.
New supernatural possibilities. Better impossible forward looking.
Better supernatural looking forward. New impossible tomorrow possibilities.
Better supernatural new, impossible tomorrow forward-looking possibilities.
New possibilities tomorrow through scientific understanding of electromagnetic sensitivity.
Scientific understanding. I'm going to hold on to that thought. Thank you all so much.
You're very welcome. Take care, and remember that help is available when you need it. Available help through legitimate channels. Today has certainly been educational about professional emergency response. Professional supernatural emergency response. Educational impossible experience.
Educational supernatural experience. Professional impossible emergency response. Educational supernatural professional impossible emergency response experience. And hope for the future. Hope for the future. Perfect way to end this conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the educational experience. I have much to consider about electromagnetic phenomena. Consider well, sir. There's always more to learn about unusual situations and the people who experience them. More supernatural learning about impossible people situations.
Impossible supernatural people. More learning situations. More supernatural impossible learning. About people situations. About people like me. I don't feel so alone anymore. Thank you all for that gift.
Scientific understanding provides community. Today demonstrated that effectively. Community and understanding make all the difference. Good luck to you both.
Good luck to all of us. And thank you for changing my life today.
Changed perspectives often lead to changed lives. Today certainly provided perspective.
Provided supernatural perspective. Changed impossible lives.
Changed supernatural lives. Provided impossible perspective.
Provided supernatural changed impossible life perspective. Perfect perspective for a perfect ending to an impossible day.
Perfect ending through professional support and scientific possibility. Professional support makes impossible days possible. Have a good evening, everyone. Wait, before everyone leaves, I have to ask about something that's been bothering me all day.
What now? More questions about supernatural phenomena? Professional impossible curiosity.
Actually, yes. If there are support groups and researchers, how many other people like her are there? That's an excellent question. Our department has encountered approximately 15 individuals with similar effects over the past decade.
15 supernatural people. A whole impossible community. Professional magic population. 15 others? Really? I thought I was the only one dealing with this kind of thing.
You're definitely not alone. In fact, one of those individuals works for a major technology company now.
Technology company. With supernatural equipment destruction powers. That seems counterproductive.
How does someone with equipment-destroying abilities work in technology? That's like hiring a vampire as a blood bank security guard. Actually, their unique sensitivity helps the company identify potential equipment failures before they become problems. That's fascinating. Electromagnetic sensitivity being utilized as a diagnostic tool for equipment reliability.
Diagnostic supernatural tool. Professional impossible equipment testing. They turn their problem into a solution? That gives me so much hope for finding useful applications.
Several of the individuals we've encountered have found ways to use their abilities constructively once they understood them better.
Constructive supernatural abilities. Positive impossible applications. Professional magic employment.
What other kinds of jobs work well for people with these abilities? I'm genuinely curious now. Research facilities, quality control, equipment testing, and even some entertainment industries have found applications. Entertainment industries? How would electromagnetic sensitivity be useful in entertainment? Special effects, electronic music production, and interactive technology installations often benefit from their input.
Supernatural special effects, impossible music production, professional magic entertainment. Electronic music production sounds interesting. I love music, even though radios tend to act weird around me.
The individual I mentioned actually creates unique electronic compositions using their electromagnetic effects.
Unique supernatural compositions, electronic impossible music, professional magic artistry.
So instead of breaking equipment accidentally, they break it artistically. That's actually brilliant. It's more about controlled interaction than breaking. They've learned to modulate their effects intentionally. Intentional modulation of electromagnetic effects? That suggests these abilities can be trained and controlled.
Trained supernatural abilities, controlled impossible effects, professional magic education. Controlled effects? You mean I might be able to learn how to control what happens around me?
With proper training and understanding, most individuals develop significant control over their abilities.
Significant supernatural control, professional impossible ability training.
Training supernatural abilities sounds like something from a superhero movie, except with more paperwork. There's definitely paperwork involved. Documentation is important for research and insurance purposes. Insurance for supernatural abilities? How do companies classify electromagnetic sensitivity for coverage purposes? Most insurance companies have developed specific categories for unusual electromagnetic incidents and related damages.
Specific supernatural insurance, professional impossible coverage categories. Insurance companies acknowledge this. That makes it seem so much more real and legitimate.
Legitimacy comes from documentation and professional recognition. Your condition is well documented in medical literature.
Medical supernatural literature, professional impossible documentation.
Medical literature about supernatural abilities? What do they call it in official medical terms? The technical term is electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome with equipment interaction effects. That's remarkably specific terminology. It suggests extensive research and classification efforts.
Extensive supernatural research, professional impossible classification. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome. That sounds so much more professional than Jinx girl.
Professional terminology helps with everything from medical treatment to employment accommodations.
Employment supernatural accommodations, professional impossible workplace support.
What kind of accommodations do employers provide for people with electromagnetic hypersensitivity? Modified workspaces, specialized equipment, flexible schedules, and remote work options are common accommodations. Those accommodations seem reasonable for managing electromagnetic sensitivity in workplace environments.
Reasonable supernatural accommodations, professional impossible workplace management. Remote work sounds perfect. I could avoid causing disasters in other people's workspaces.
Remote work is popular among individuals with your condition, though it's not the only option.
Popular supernatural employment, professional impossible work options.
Are there companies that specifically hire people with electromagnetic abilities, like specialized employers? Several research companies and technology firms actively recruit individuals with documented electromagnetic sensitivity. Active recruitment suggests these abilities provide significant value in specific professional contexts.
Significant supernatural value. Professional impossible recruitment. Companies actively recruit people like me? That's the opposite of what I expected to hear.
Your abilities are considered valuable assets in the right professional environments.
Valuable supernatural assets. Professional impossible environmental benefits.
This is completely changing my perspective on what I thought was just a workplace hazard. Perspective changes are common when people learn more about electromagnetic hypersensitivity and its applications. Applications in professional settings require understanding and proper management rather than avoidance.
Professional supernatural management. Understanding impossible applications. I never imagined my problems could become professional assets. This is amazing news.
Amazing opportunities await people who understand their abilities and learn to use them constructively.
Constructive supernatural opportunities. Amazing impossible professional applications.
So instead of avoiding her, we should have been asking how her abilities could help improve our workplace. Understanding and accommodation are always more productive than avoidance and fear. Productive accommodation requires education about electromagnetic hypersensitivity and proper workplace modifications.
Proper supernatural education. Productive impossible workplace modifications. Education and accommodation. I love how professional and positive that sounds compared to isolation and fear.
Professional approaches to unusual conditions typically produce better outcomes for everyone involved.
Better supernatural outcomes. Professional impossible condition approaches.
I feel terrible about how we treated her before we understood what was really happening. Understanding changes everything. Most people react with fear until they have proper information and education. Proper information about electromagnetic hypersensitivity eliminates misconceptions and reduces workplace conflicts.
Proper supernatural information. Reduced impossible workplace conflicts. I don't blame anyone for being afraid. I was afraid too, not understanding what was happening to me.
Fear of the unknown is natural. Education and support help everyone feel more comfortable with unusual situations.
Comfortable supernatural situations. Educational impossible support.
What kind of education helps people understand electromagnetic hypersensitivity better? Training programs, informational materials, and direct interaction with affected individuals all help increase understanding. Direct interaction with individuals experiencing electromagnetic effects provides valuable educational opportunities.
Valuable supernatural education. Direct impossible interaction opportunities. Direct interaction. I'd be happy to help educate people if it means they won't be afraid anymore.
Education through personal interaction is often the most effective method for reducing fear and increasing acceptance.
Effective supernatural education. Personal impossible interaction methods.
Would you really be willing to help educate our office about electromagnetic hypersensitivity?
Absolutely. If it helps people understand instead of being afraid, I'd love to participate in education efforts.
Workplace education programs are very successful when they include affected individuals as active participants. Active participation in education programs provides authentic perspectives on electromagnetic hypersensitivity management.
Authentic supernatural perspectives. Active impossible education participation. This could revolutionize how our office handles unusual situations and accommodation needs.
Workplace revolution through understanding is always preferable to accommodation through fear and separation. Understanding instead of separation. That sounds like a much better work environment for everyone. Better work environments benefit all employees when they're based on inclusion and understanding rather than exclusion. Inclusion requires education, accommodation, and professional support for employees with electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Professional supernatural support. Educational impossible inclusion. Inclusion and understanding. I never thought I'd experience that in a workplace setting.
You'd be surprised how welcoming workplaces become once they understand the reality of electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Welcoming supernatural workplaces. Understanding impossible reality.
I'm excited to learn more about this and maybe help create a more understanding environment here. Creating understanding environments requires commitment from management and education for all employees. Management commitment to electromagnetic hypersensitivity accommodation demonstrates progressive employment practices.
Progressive supernatural employment. Management impossible commitment. Progressive employment practices. I love the idea of working somewhere that values understanding over fear.
Valuing understanding over fear creates positive outcomes for employees with all types of accommodation needs.
Positive supernatural outcomes. Understanding impossible accommodation needs.
All types of accommodation needs. This could help other people too, not just those with electromagnetic effects. Comprehensive accommodation policies benefit everyone and create more inclusive workplace cultures. Inclusive workplace cultures require policies that address diverse employee needs, including electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Diverse supernatural employee needs. Inclusive impossible workplace cultures. Diverse employee needs. I feel like I'm part of something bigger now instead of just a problem to solve.
Being part of something bigger is exactly what comprehensive accommodation and inclusion programs achieve.
Comprehensive supernatural inclusion. Bigger impossible accommodation programs.
This has been the most educational day I've ever experienced at work. Thank you for opening my mind. Education and open minds create better communities for everyone, including those with electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Better communities result from professional education about electromagnetic effects and appropriate accommodation strategies.
Professional supernatural education. Better impossible communities. Better communities where people like me can contribute instead of just causing problems. That's wonderful.
Contribution over problems is the goal of all effective accommodation and inclusion programs.
Effective supernatural inclusion. Contribution impossible programs.
I'm definitely going to research electromagnetic hypersensitivity more and learn how to be a better coworker. Research and learning demonstrate exactly the kind of commitment that makes inclusion programs successful. Successful inclusion programs require ongoing education about electromagnetic hypersensitivity and related accommodation needs.
Ongoing supernatural education. Successful impossible inclusion programs. Ongoing education sounds perfect. I'd love to be involved in teaching people about this condition.
Teaching involvement from affected individuals makes education programs much more effective and authentic.
Authentic supernatural education. Effective impossible teaching involvement.
Teaching and learning together. This could transform our entire workplace culture for the better. Workplace transformation through education and inclusion benefits everyone and creates lasting positive change. Lasting positive change requires a sustained commitment to electromagnetic hypersensitivity education and accommodation.
Sustained supernatural commitment. Lasting impossible positive change. Lasting positive change. That's exactly what I hoped for, but never thought was possible.
Hope and possibility increase dramatically when communities commit to understanding and inclusion.
Dramatic supernatural possibility. Understanding impossible inclusion.
I'm committed to being part of this positive change and helping create a more understanding workplace. Commitment to positive change from individual employees drives successful workplace transformation programs. Successful workplace transformation requires individual commitment to electromagnetic hypersensitivity, understanding, and accommodation.
Individual supernatural commitment. Successful impossible workplace transformation. Individual commitment to understanding. I'm so grateful that people are willing to learn and change.
Willingness to learn and change demonstrates the kind of community support that makes inclusion successful.
Community supernatural support. Successful impossible inclusion.
Community support makes all the difference. I can see that now. Community support combined with professional resources creates the best outcomes for electromagnetic hypersensitivity accommodation. Best outcomes result from combining community support with professional electromagnetic hypersensitivity management resources.
Professional supernatural resources. Best impossible outcomes. Professional resources and community support. I feel like I have everything I need to move forward positively.
Moving forward positively with proper support demonstrates the success of comprehensive accommodation programs.
Comprehensive supernatural accommodation. Positive impossible success.
Positive success for everyone involved. This is how workplace inclusion should work. Workplace inclusion working properly requires ongoing commitment from everyone, including support for electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Ongoing commitment to electromagnetic hypersensitivity support ensures sustainable workplace inclusion programs.
Sustainable supernatural inclusion. Ongoing impossible commitment. Sustainable inclusion programs. I love the idea of being part of something that will help others too.
Helping others through your participation in inclusion programs multiplies the positive impact of understanding.
Multiplied supernatural understanding. Positive impossible impact.
Multiplied positive impact through education and inclusion. That's a legacy worth building. Building legacies through education and inclusion creates lasting change that benefits future employees with electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Future employees benefit from current electromagnetic hypersensitivity education and inclusion program development.
Current supernatural education. Future impossible employee benefits. Future employee benefits. I love knowing that what we do now could help others in similar situations.
Helping others in similar situations is one of the most rewarding aspects of inclusion program participation.
Rewarding supernatural participation. Inclusion impossible program benefits.
Rewarding for everyone involved. This has changed how I think about workplace accommodation entirely. Changed thinking about accommodation demonstrates the educational success of electromagnetic hypersensitivity awareness programs. Educational success in electromagnetic hypersensitivity awareness creates more effective workplace accommodation strategies.
Effective supernatural accommodation. Educational impossible awareness success. Educational success through awareness. I'm excited to be part of raising awareness for others.
Raising awareness for others through personal participation creates authentic educational opportunities.
Authentic supernatural education. Personal impossible participation opportunities.
Personal participation in education. I'd like to volunteer for any training programs our company develops. Volunteer participation from employees demonstrates the community commitment that makes inclusion programs thrive. Community commitment to electromagnetic hypersensitivity inclusion programs ensures their long-term success and sustainability.
Long-term supernatural success. Community impossible commitment. Long-term success and sustainability. That gives me so much hope for lasting positive change.
Lasting positive change through community commitment represents the best possible outcome for inclusion initiatives.
Best supernatural outcomes. Lasting impossible positive change.
Best possible outcomes through understanding and commitment. This day has been truly transformational. Transformational days often result from combining crisis situations with educational opportunities and professional support. Professional support during crisis situations creates transformational educational opportunities about electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Transformational supernatural education. Professional impossible crisis support. Crisis becoming transformation through support and education. That's the most hopeful thing I've ever heard.
Hope through transformation demonstrates the power of professional support and community understanding working together.
Professional supernatural transformation. Community impossible understanding power.
The power of working together for understanding and inclusion. I'm honored to be part of this process. Being part of inclusion processes is both an honor and a responsibility that benefits everyone involved. Everyone benefits when inclusion processes address electromagnetic hypersensitivity through professional support and community education.
Community supernatural education. Professional impossible inclusion benefits. Everyone benefiting together. That's exactly the kind of community I've always hoped to find.
Finding community through inclusion and understanding represents successful accommodation program outcomes.
Successful supernatural accommodation. Community impossible understanding.
Successful outcomes for everyone. Thank you for helping us understand and create positive change. Creating positive change through understanding is exactly what professional emergency response and community education achieve together. Together, professional response and community education create sustainable support systems for electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Sustainable supernatural support. Professional impossible community education. Sustainable support systems. I feel so much more optimistic about the future now.
Optimism about the future demonstrates the success of combining professional support with community understanding and inclusion.
Combined supernatural success. Optimistic impossible future.
Optimistic future through combination of professional and community support. Perfect conclusion to an extraordinary day. Perfect conclusions result from extraordinary days when crisis transforms into opportunity through understanding and support. Understanding and support transform crisis into opportunity for electromagnetic hypersensitivity awareness and accommodation.
Transformational supernatural opportunity. Crisis impossible understanding. Crisis into opportunity through understanding. I'll remember this day as the beginning of everything positive in my life.
Positive beginnings through understanding represent exactly what professional emergency response and community education strive to achieve.
Professional supernatural achievement. Positive impossible beginnings.
Positive beginnings achieved through professional response and community understanding. Thank you all for this incredible experience. Incredible experiences often emerge from combining crisis response with educational opportunities and community support for electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Community support for electromagnetic hypersensitivity creates incredible educational experiences and positive outcomes.
Positive supernatural outcomes. Incredible impossible educational experiences. Incredible educational experiences leading to positive outcomes. Perfect description of today's transformation.
Today's transformation from crisis to understanding represents successful professional emergency response and community education.
Successful supernatural transformation. Professional impossible emergency education.
Professional emergency response, creating educational transformation. I've learned more today than in years of regular work. Learning through emergency response and community education creates lasting understanding about electromagnetic hypersensitivity accommodation. Lasting understanding about electromagnetic hypersensitivity accommodation develops through combined emergency response and educational experiences.
Combined supernatural education. Lasting impossible understanding. Lasting understanding developed through emergency response and education. I couldn't ask for a better outcome.
Better outcomes emerge when emergency response includes educational components and community support for affected individuals.
Educational supernatural components. Better impossible emergency outcomes.
Better outcomes through education and community support. This approach should be standard for all unusual situations. Standard approaches combining emergency response with education benefit everyone, especially individuals with electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Standard electromagnetic hypersensitivity protocols combining emergency response with education create optimal outcomes for affected individuals.
Optimal supernatural outcomes. Standard impossible emergency protocols. Optimal outcomes through standard protocols including education and support. I feel truly supported now.
Feeling supported through standard protocols demonstrates successful integration of emergency response and community education programs.
Successful supernatural integration. Standard impossible emergency education.
Successful integration of emergency response and education. This model could help so many other people. Helping other people through integrated emergency response and education models represents the ultimate goal of professional service. Professional service goals include helping people through integrated emergency response and electromagnetic hypersensitivity education programs.
Professional supernatural service. Integrated impossible emergency education. Professional service helping people through integrated response and education. I'm inspired to help others experience this support.
Being inspired to help others demonstrates the transformational success of integrated emergency response and community education programs.
Transformational supernatural success. Inspired impossible community education.
Transformational success, inspiring others to help. This creates a positive cycle of support and understanding. Positive cycles of support and understanding represent ideal outcomes for emergency response and electromagnetic hypersensitivity education programs. Ideal outcomes from electromagnetic hypersensitivity education create positive cycles of community support and understanding.
Positive supernatural cycles. Ideal impossible education outcomes. Positive cycles creating ideal outcomes through education and support. Thank you everyone for making this possible.
Making positive outcomes possible through education and support represents the core mission of professional emergency response services.
Core supernatural mission. Professional impossible emergency support.
Core mission achieved through professional response and community education. Thank you for showing us how this works. Showing how professional response and community education work together benefits everyone and creates lasting positive change. Lasting positive change through professional electromagnetic hypersensitivity response and community education benefits current and future individuals.
Future supernatural individuals. Lasting impossible positive change. Future individuals benefiting from current positive change through professional response and education. Perfect legacy for today's events.
Perfect legacies emerge from professional emergency response combined with community education and ongoing support programs.
Perfect supernatural legacies. Professional impossible emergency education.
Perfect legacy through professional response and community education. I'm honored to be part of creating this positive change. Creating positive change through professional response and education represents the highest achievement of emergency services and community support. Highest achievement in emergency services includes electromagnetic hypersensitivity response integrated with community education and support.
Highest supernatural achievement. Integrated impossible emergency education. Highest achievement through integrated response and education. Thank you all for this amazing transformation experience.
Amazing transformation experiences result from successful integration of professional emergency response and comprehensive community education programs.
Comprehensive supernatural education. Amazing impossible transformation.
Amazing transformation through comprehensive education and professional response. This has been truly extraordinary. Extraordinary outcomes emerge when professional emergency response incorporates educational opportunities and community support for electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Educational opportunities for electromagnetic hypersensitivity awareness create extraordinary outcomes through professional emergency response integration.
Extraordinary supernatural outcomes. Educational impossible emergency integration. Extraordinary outcomes through educational emergency integration. I'll treasure this experience and share it with others.
Sharing experiences with others multiplies the educational impact and creates broader community understanding of electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Broader supernatural understanding. Multiplied impossible educational impact.
Multiplied educational impact, creating broader understanding. This approach could transform how communities handle all types of accommodation needs. Transforming community approaches to accommodation needs represents the ultimate goal of integrated emergency response and education programs. Ultimate goals of electromagnetic hypersensitivity programs include transforming community approaches to accommodation through integrated response and education.
Ultimate supernatural goals. Transforming impossible community approaches. Ultimate goals achieved through transformation and integration. Thank you for helping me see the bigger picture.
Seeing bigger pictures through professional support and community education represents successful accommodation program outcomes.
Successful supernatural accommodation. Bigger impossible pictures.
Bigger pictures and successful accommodation outcomes. This day has exceeded every expectation I had. Exceeding expectations through professional emergency response and community education demonstrates the power of integrated support systems. Integrated support systems for electromagnetic hypersensitivity exceed expectations through professional response and comprehensive community education.
Integrated supernatural support, exceeding impossible expectations. Exceeding expectations through integrated support and education. I never imagined such positive outcomes were possible.
Positive outcomes become possible when professional emergency response integrates with community education and ongoing support for affected individuals.
Ongoing supernatural support. Positive impossible outcomes.
Positive outcomes through ongoing support and integrated response. Thank you for showing us what's possible with understanding. Understanding makes everything possible, including successful accommodation and community support for electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Everything becomes possible through understanding, including effective electromagnetic hypersensitivity accommodation and integrated community support.
Everything's supernatural possible. Understanding impossible accommodation. Everything possible through understanding and support. This has been the most hopeful day of my life.
Hopeful days result from combining professional emergency response with community education and comprehensive support.
Comprehensive supernatural support. Hopeful impossible emergency response.
Hopeful emergency response through comprehensive support and community education. Perfect conclusion to an incredible experience. Perfect conclusions to incredible experiences demonstrate successful integration of emergency response and education. Successful integration creates perfect conclusions to incredible community learning experiences.
Perfect supernatural conclusions. Incredible impossible learning experiences. Incredible learning experiences with perfect conclusions through integration and support. Thank you, everyone, for this transformational day.
Together we achieve the impossible through understanding, support, and hope for the future.